Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 21st, and today I listened to Back in Black by AC/DC. There's a little bit of history behind this album. Right before this, AC/DC released their album Highway to Hell, which was a huge commercial success. This was right when the band had hit the big time and their lead singer died. But they made the decision to find a new lead singer, start back up again, and put out their next album. It was a bold move, and that move paid off. So what was my first impression of Back in Black, the album? Well, it's kind of an accepted thing, even among AC/DC fans, that they are very formulaic with their music, and a vast majority of their songs kind of sound similar to each other. And after listening to this album, I can confirm that that idea is not unwarranted. Back in Black is moderately homogenous when it comes to what their songs sound like. They all kind of have a similar format to each other. They're like the skeleton is the same for every single song. It's also kind of samey when it comes to the singing. The new lead singer of AC/DC, I actually don't know enough about AC/DC from before this to say if he's better or worse than the old guy, but when he's really going at it hard, it's like a combination of screamo and almost a falsetto. It kind of sounds like the Nostalgia Critic when he's really angry and yelling, but it's funny yelling, except it's not supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be hard rock. It's fine for some of the songs, but for other songs, it can be a bit much. In Hell's Bells, it kind of just sounds like an angry Muppet. And he keeps the intensity fairly high throughout the entire album, which isn't really that good because that sort of means there's the same energy given to different subject matters. So that means that they're treating a song called Givin' the Dog a Bone with about the same amount of intensity as the titular Back in Black. At least from a vocal standpoint. The instrumentation and composition has a little bit more wiggle room, but it was kind of amusing hearing this guy try so hard and go so hard for a song called Shake a Leg. My favorite song on the entire album isn't even the most different from the other ones. I just think it was the one where all the parts were done the best individually and it comes together really well, and that was Shoot to Thrill. That was a song where I thought the band was really firing in all cylinders. If we're talking about good songs that are relatively different from the rest of the ones on the album, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution is one of the most different songs on Back in Black. And it's okay. You Shook Me All Night Long, that's a decent song. There weren't really any songs that I disliked on this album, but then you gotta ask the question of, if all these songs kind of sound the same, why listen to an entire album if you basically heard it just by listening to the singles? Well, thankfully, I don't have to worry about purchasing singles or albums, I'm just streaming it, but I'm sure that was more of a question back in the time of this album's release. I think the question of does this album hold up basically means, yeah, they're sort of making the same song over and over, but is that song good? And to me, I think that answer is generally yes, so overall, I do think this album holds up, but just barely. There isn't the versatility and really clever songwriting on this album that there are in other albums like 1984 or Appetite for Destruction, but I think there is enough. It's not a great album, I don't even think it's a particularly good album, but it's good enough. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow.